the job features, that means the options in the job, then you can say that in configuration, what are the options? If you understand this configure options, if you understand the job options, then it's good. Now in configure, you have a general, you have a source code management, you have a build triggers, you have a build environment, you have a build steps, you have a post build. That means 6 options are there. Write down there 6 options in configure, right? Every job will have a what? Configuration, right? So that's going to be what? 6 job configuration here. Six options or 6 features. What is this? General, source code, and build triggers. In general, what you have? What are the options? You can disable, enable the job. You can write a description of the job. You can discard all builds, GitHub project, this project, throttle builds, execute build. That means it's talking about all. That means what do you want to build? Parameterize build. What is parameterize? GitHub projects. So here, how you need to execute this kind of builds. And under that, you have what? Source code management. So that means the source code will be from where? Do you want to give a specific repository? And you have to specify that master credentials. If you want to do all the things, you can define all things here. Okay. So now, if you want to go for triggers, I said build after other projects, trigger build remotely, build periodically, schedule, GitHub branches, GitHub pull requests, but I want GitHub hook triggers, poll SCM. So it's again schedule. Poll SCM is what? Schedule. So you have all the build triggers. That means we'll ask triggers built after remotely, or you can say trigger SCM poll, and you have a build environment. Delete the workspace before build starts. That means I want the previous whatever the extracted. I don't want to keep multiple pulls. I want the latest to be kept, so I can manage my work environment. I can manage my data by deleting what? The build environment. Now use secret text or files or add timestamps to the console output. I want timestamps to the console output. That means whenever I'm seeing console output, I need timestamps, date, time, execution, everything. And use secret text or file. That means build environment. I want that it should be protected with some kind of secret. That means a kind of credential. Inspect the build log for published build scans. Terminate a build if it is stuck. If you want that it should not, like example, I given word, I executed job, but the build is not doing building. I'm just waiting for that. That is in the process, and I have to wait. So I'm say that terminate a build if it is stuck. Timeout strategy. I can say red line, elastic, or like example. I want to say red line. Timeout variables. That means I can define a time that wait for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. What kind of build I do regularly. I'm expecting the time of the build, it can be hardly 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But after that, if it is taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I don't want to go with that. I want to Jenkins say that, please terminate this. Or else I have to wait for that particular build. If I go different kind of option, it will get hang, a freeze, because building and a process. So this all what? Build environment. But when you go for build steps, you find there is CI process. That means how do you build? Build step nothing but a what? Calling Maven, calling Gradle, calling kind of like here MS build. If you want to go with this, and if you want to execute the shell, Windows or shell, that means you don't want to like you can say that you don't want to run the build, but you want to run some command on Linux and Windows. So that makes what? Build steps. So now my machines is basically Linux or Windows. Jenkins is running on what?
Linux.
So I have to say what? Execute shell. So here, when I say execute shell example, I'm saying execute shell. I'll get what options? I'll get options on, just a minute. I want to say that execute shell. I don't want to get GitHub or something. I want to directly go for what? Execute shell. I'll refresh it. When I say execute shell, it will give a kind of configuration box where I can type Linux commands. So for this job, I want to configure only this because I want to test it. Only I want to understand the concept. I don't want to integrate with GitHub. I don't want to go for Maven. I don't want to go for other tools. But I want to create a job, multiple job with what? Test one, test two, test three, test four. I want to link it. So that's why I'm going with what? This option. I want to say execute shell. You'll get a X shell. So I'm going to say what? Echo. Successfully deployed. I want to say that this command, echo command, in Linux is going to be to that expression. You want to just print successfully deployed. So I said that when I execute this project build, so automatically it will execute that particular build step, what you have written as in shell script. It will execute background into Jenkins platform and it will say the output of that particular this thing. So I have done this and done. I want to create one more job. This way, I want to create job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4. In every job, I'll say what? Execute shell script. I'm just keeping a sample. I'm not integrating all the tools right now, but I want to give you an idea that how to create a job, how to link jobs. It's getting really very slow. I want to create one more job. So if you do with this kind of job, one by one clicking and waiting for that, oh, it's got a boring job. So if you have a shell script, if you have a kind of Python, you do what? Automation. You do not need to go for a lot of things, click, 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 click. If you run the script, it will ask you job name or options, and you just set it. And scripts are very faster than your console. Second task, I want to say what?
Build.
Well, example number 2 step. So now we have a one more option. Copy from where? Which job? So
Deploy.
it will automatically copy all the configuration what I have. If the job is having common configuration, you can use the copy.
That's Python.
The configuration will have same thing. Only I have to change word successfully build. Understand the copy command is basically for what? Copying entire configuration to the new project or new job. You can say in a build steps, you have this, right? So say what? Successfully built. You want to create a one more job, then you have to go for what? Again, dashboard, you have to create job and you have to do this. It's getting slow, maybe internet is problem. I have connected with different internet connection also, it's getting same problem. So what you can do is, please write down the steps. It's good to have. After creating jobs, create job for label release, right? That means you have to create job. This option, second option, after creating job, configure. Configure a
So
new job.
your voice is breaking.
Maybe internet connection here. Now
Like
it's
I
okay.
didn't heard what you said.
Okay, now
Like
it's okay.
yeah, it is okay, but I didn't heard the last part you said.
Okay, I said that my internet is slow, and just why not to write some steps? That's I said.
Yes,
No worries.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Now, after the creating job, configure it. That means whatever the configuration. But we are doing what? Basic configuration is what? We're using some execute shell. Go to the build job. In the build option, so I'm sorry, sorry. That configure means what? The section separate section. Configure jobs with build steps, execute shell, and write echo and the message you want to give. And then third step, you have to go for what? Link these jobs with sequence, how they need to build. So first you have to go for job two, that is called build. And then you have to go for configure. You have a build triggers. In this build trigger, you have a say what? Build after. That means I'm linking this job and I'm setting the sequence which job to be executed by when. That means I'm not doing execution on time. I'm not doing execution through webhook. I'm not executing manually. I want the job should be triggered if first job is dependent job is what? Executed successfully. So that's why I'm saying that in the build triggers you have a build after job one. Job one is what? Deploy. So if I select this option on the second job, that means it depends on what? Job one. If job one successfully, automatically second job will be executed. I'm not manually doing that. Then build steps. In the build step, you have to say what? Execute, echo, build successfully. Now you are integrating, you're linking jobs. Now you have linked what? Job one and job two. Then in this way, same, do for all jobs. Example, you have to go for what? Go to job 3 and set what?
Test.
Build after job 2. That means you set job 2 and you set what? Build after job 1. Now go to job 3, go say that
So
job 2. And then what?
go to job.
Same way,
Do for
do for next word,
job for.
go to job 4 and set what?
Say
Build after
job three.
job 3. That's it. We have a 4 jobs. So in this way, you configure it and you just give it a message equal build successfully or deployed successfully, tested successfully, you write some message. Now, what you have done that with the help of this, you have linked job. You have linked
Job.
job. Now, all the jobs are linked together and they execute according to the condition. If job one is executed successfully, build, then it's going to execute second job. Now, I want new dashboard for all my link project to be visualized. I want to keep different dashboard for different projects. Because when I say views, I'll see all the jobs listed 20, 30, 40. Maybe it is not related to my relevant to my project right now what I'm working. I have only 7 jobs in a new project. So why not to have a dashboard separately? And I can have only job which is related to that project. And I want to do visualization. I want to go for visualization. I want the job should have a word. When I run the job, it should give all the history in visualize. Job one executed successfully or something. I need to have a visualize. Job built and successfully. Now, if I want to do that, we have to use some plugins. Install build pipeline plugins to have a separate dashboard view of link project. Install delivery pipeline plugins to visualize. That means build pipeline plugins basically for what? A separate dashboard, which is link project. That means separate dashboard for what? Only linked project. That means if you have a pipeline project, then you can use. So automatically it will gather all these link jobs and place into one dashboard. Install delivery pipeline plugin. That means interview question, they can ask you about something plugin. Why this plugin use? Why this plugin use? Why this plugin use? So you have to understand at least 10 to 12 plugins idea. Initially GitHub integration or Maven integration we have said. So what is the use of this? They'll say. And they can say, what is use of build pipeline? What is delivery pipeline plugins? Why do you use? So we'll have a list of this. Definitely you can understand that what type of plugin used for what purpose. So if you want to visualize this, to visualize the projector, that means project, time, date, who, fail, success, you have a permalink, the view. But here, permalink saying only text, date, time, something. But I want visualize, I want in a graph chart. So I can go for what? Which plugins? Delivery pipeline plugins. I can have all details in a very systematic way. So now, after linking the project, I added what the project should be in a different dashboard because it should be manageable properly. Or else in a view, one dashboard, if I'm working for 4 projects and each project having 7 to 8 jobs, oh, it's gonna be very hectic. 80 jobs. I need to find out left and right, up and down. I have to configure. But it's good to have what all the project jobs should be one job, one project should be into separate dashboard. That's basically needed. That's why we have done this. So now view, if you click on the plus sign, how to add after installing the plugins, you have to click on the view and you have to go for what plus sign and give a name. That means when you say plus sign and a view, I want to create one more dashboard. So when I say give a name, that means I would say what project is a kind of pharmacy, or it's going to be a kind of virtual doctor, or it can be a kind of electrical vehicle. I'm working with electrical vehicle project. So I'll say what select build pipeline. In this dashboard, it will say what kind of view. So I'll say select build pipeline, create, give title, vehicle, electrical vehicle. Select initial. In this, it will ask you in dashboard what are the things you want to show, which is your initial job. That means you have created 4 jobs, but now you have to show to this dashboard which is your first job. If you say deploy, and deploy is linked with build, and build is linked with what? Test is linked with what? Your release. So
Build.
all the jobs can be pulled if you say initial. And number of builds you want to see. When you execute this build, you want to see how many builds at a time. That means in your view, normal view, when you build, you find what on left side progress, success or failure or something. But when I want to build, I want to see a separate page of complete visual. That means a graphical kind of interface. I want to see everything. So that means how many number of builds, what is initial, a header name, or numbers, or save. That means I want to say that the header should be what? The name. Whenever you build and it display the build options, 3 options. So I have to say electrical vehicle project, header. I want to keep footer as a what? 2024 August. I want to say that number. I want to say job one. I want to say that every job should have number, sequence number. And if I say save, that means your dashboard will be created according to this parameter. Now, Click on build to what? Deploy job. If you just click on the deploy job to be built, if the deploy is successfully done, automatically second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever you have a job, automatically execute one by one. All jobs will execute one by one and display in a build dashboard. A graphical interface, visual interface. Done. That means you got idea that how to create multiple jobs, how to link it, how to make a different dashboard for every project, and how to execute it. That means when you execute, only you're just clicking on one build. So one by one, all the jobs are executing. Why? Because you linked, and you have set sequence. If test job failed, what happened? Release job will execute or not? No, because we have set a sequence dependency after build, the configuration trigger build. So these options make sense. Now you are talking about what? I hope you have written up to this. Have written everyone. How to build CI process with what? Earlier we have done CI process. We started with what? Plugins. I install I install what? Maven integration, GitHub integration. I need to find out which plugin I need. I have to search. Then I have configured something there. I have given the path of your credential and path of the GitHub. I have given a kind of Maven commands. Then I have executed this. Now I have a 20 jobs of the CI process. Oh, it's going to be a hectic job for me because I have to go for boring steps and it's going to take time consumption. If you want to execute with a script, oh, it's going to be very faster than manual. Manual, always scripting is going to be what? Faster execution compared to manual. So now, if you want to do this, so is Jenkins providing any facility that you can create that particular CI and CD process with a scripting also? Yes.
Yes.
They are saying what? Groovy script. Script name is what? Groovy. It's a kind of JSON scripts kind of thing. So Jenkins support a Groovy script. I can create the same CI process with a pipeline what we did earlier with a manual. So here we have a two types of script, declarative script and non-declarative. So declarative script is what? Best for distributed architecture of Jenkins, master and slaves. When you have a big infrastructure, one master, multiple slaves, I can declare where to go, how to go. We can organize properly, and declarative scripts are basically the, we can say, successful of undeclarative. So now, non-declarative. If you only master, that means if you have only one machine, is a basic machine, you can go for what? Non-declarative. Script start with node. Here, script start with what? Pipeline. Whenever you write a script, you see it start with node. The keyword is what? Node. Here, the keyword will be what? Pipeline. When you're writing a declarative script, you can declare in each stage. Now, I want to create this CI project, GitHub, and Maven using Groovy script. So create a project, same thing, but you don't need to bother about what? Plugins, because hundreds and thousands of plugins are there for each job. So you have to remember a lot of plugins. Which plugin for what purpose? So it's not easy. So now Groovy does not bother about plugins. Create job, select pipeline. Don't go for freestyle. Earlier we said freestyle, now pipeline project. Definition of pipeline script or SCM pipeline. That means you'll find when you create a pipeline script, it will ask you two things: a pipeline script or a SCM pipeline. So now you'll find some sample scripts in your pipeline. You can copy and you can change your URLs, you can change credential, branches, everything you can do. Then save it and build. It will execute, and if it is failed, you can check in console option, you can fix easily. That means now the script make very easy. If you want to do any kind of changes again, you just go for only one file. If you have 20 jobs earlier, but now all the 20 jobs you're writing into one single file. So no need to go for job one, configure something, job two, configure something. No, I want to see everything in one place. All this kind of scripting, that means your job is going to work into one single file, which says stage one, stage two, stage three, stage four. The scripting section is called what? Stages. It will execute, and if you fail, that you can check out in the console. Additional features in pipeline. When you see the console, you find what? This is very important question. In pipeline, you'll find replay, but in your plugins, you'll not find replay. That means if you want to again, you will have a script box to modify and execute. No need to go for again configure. In a console itself, after running this, you can find what replay means. You can rerun again. You do changes directly, editor will be there. No need to go for again configure pipeline. You can directly go for replay. Restart from stage. That means this option is common, new to this your plugin to this. That means plugin you do not have this option, but here you have restart from stage. That means you have a script stage one, stage two, stage three, stage four. The stage two got failed, and I want to run again stage three. I want to run this project from a specific stage. I can give what restart from stage. If you want out of 30 stages, you want to run from 20 stage, you can run it. So you'll have separate options compared to your plugins, freestyle. Now, once you have done your pipeline CI process, you can go for CD also. But we'll see what in a first freestyle base, we'll see CD options. We'll deploy the code. We want after the build, it need to deploy the code into the S3 bucket. It need to deploy the code into EC2 machine. I want to deploy the code in somewhere else in Docker. So if you want to connect to EC2 AWS, you want to connect kind of S3. I don't want to connect something. I want to connect on Tomcat application. I want to connect to Docker. So you need multiple plugins. For each action, you need what? Plugins. But same thing, if I want to apply into scripting, I do not need to bother up plugins. So that means second step in a Jenkins, we are going to learn about what? CD process, CI and CD process. So, but here I'm just not showing because of what? The internet is slow. So because I have created only build and deploy, it's getting very slow. I'm sorry for this. So I'm just saying that please write on this. Write on. This is the question, interview question you can find. You have to solve it. How to troubleshoot Jenkins common errors? How to do reset password for Jenkins if you forget? How do you back up the Jenkins? How do How to change the port number of Jenkins if needed. Can we keep Jenkins file, script file in SCM? Yes. Yes. The best way to keep Groovy script in SCM, not into what? Your local system. I want the answer from you. These are questions. You have to answer it. Very simple answer with example. Always answer simple and example. That's I need. It's very important. The common questions on Jenkins. You can say that difference. Give some list of plugins. They'll say me that what plugins you have worked, what kind of errors you have seen, what is the difference between stable and successful or failed. They can ask what are the build steps. That means build states or triggering. How do you trigger your kind of like jobs? How many ways? How to configure CI/CD project? Deploy static website to what? Jenkins on S3. Continuous integration. I want continuous deploy. Whenever the build project is done, I want to deploy into S3 bucket where the hosting is done already. So I want that my users should see whenever developer do any changes, continuously it need to update the front side also. The website should get effect soon, so the user will get experience very quickly new changes. So no need to go for like doing manually, copying, pasting, doing some like permissions, nothing to do. Everything done by what? Jenkins. Deploy a Java application on EC2 Tomcat server. Do you know how to deploy the Java application? Do you know about Microsoft .NET application? Do you know how to execute or deploy on Python application? There may be a questions. It's not only on the Java. They can go for what? Java. It can say about Python. It can say about .NET. It can say about something about what? Node.js also. So these are the basically concept S3 deploying and EC2 Tomcat or making a container utilization. If Jenkins want to connect any tools externally, you need to provide these three things. That means if Jenkins want to connect externally, Docker, EC2, S3, these are external services. So what Jenkins require? Plugins and its credential. I want to go for AWS plugin. I want to go for Tomcat plugin. I want to go for what? SonarQube plugins. I want to go for JFrog plugins. This is the external services. So every service will have the credential. If Jenkins want to connect, the credential should be configured at Jenkins level. And path and container. That means which are the path of the container or something, the S3 bucket and something. That means three configuration is required if you want Jenkins should communicate outside. But when you are going for script, the first point will be detected. That means there is no plugins required. Only you have to understand what credentials. So how to troubleshoot? I'll say that how to reset the password, how to change the port number, then how to integrate with CD process. We'll see that. So now the project one is going to what? Which project? I'm going to work on Food delivery project, Java application. So what are tools in this project I'm going to use? SCM, build. What SCM tool? GitHub or GitLab or what? Build. Maven or Ant or Microsoft build. CI/CD, Jenkins or by like TeamCD or what? OS on Linux or Windows. What plugins I'm going to use? What trigger method I'm going to use? What pipeline I'm going to use? So these all are documentation of your project. Let's see later, but at least you got an idea about what that kind of what pipeline project. But by using what plugins. The system is slow. That's why I'm not able to do very fast. That's why I have given some points here. So now you have a job what to create a pipeline job to create something delivery pipeline plugins or build plugins, and you have to create a net dashboard and you have to execute it. So once you understand this, we can jump into what Groovy script. Once Groovy script is done, I'll give you two examples of this and I'll show you CD process, one example of CD, and you'll have 4 or 5 tasks, job from me. That means assignment. I'll show you only Java application to go for Tomcat, but I need .NET application, I need Node.js or Python. The concept will be same, the code will be different, the plugin will be different. So you have to understand this. Fine, we'll do that later on a Groovy script and a CD process. Once you have done reset password, port changing, backup of Jenkins, I'll show you. That's going to be very simple. That means the next class will be talking on this. Once you have finished, I want to give a kind of assignments at least 2 days. So that means we have almost done to the Jenkins. I'll give you assignments of 1, 2, 3, 4 assignments. You have to research now because I think you're mature. You have learned a lot of tools now. You know, AWS platform, some services, you know about Terraform, Ansible, Docker, GitHub, different styles, different format, different commands. You have done a lot of things. Now it's time to show your maturity also. That means how to use a Google and ChatGPT and how to find out some kind of issues, how to go with that. If you're good into this, your job will be easy because you have to do that research, right? Okay. Now I'm just closing this session. Any question for me now? Anyone
No, sir.
online?
No, sir.
Fine. So thank you. See you soon. Saturday, you want to demonstrate anything, Amir? I want to see that Terraform Ansible practically in front of me. Sravani, Safia, Mariam, Umair, Shoaib, you have to demonstrate online. I'll give a task on Terraform, I'll give a task on GitHub, I'll give a task on this. You have to do, right?
Okay,
Show me
sir.
practical way in front of me. And I found that earlier batch given a lot of excuses. When I say come on Saturday and say something and show me the demonstration, they'll say what? I have some kind of urgent job. I have to go to somewhere else. My assignment in college, our project in my college. That's why I cannot attend. So please don't give excuses. Straightforward come with preparation. If you are 70-80% okay, then I can help you. If you come directly with a zero, I'm sorry, I cannot help you again. I cannot give you time of 2 hours, 3 hours for again explaining. You have to at least 70-70%. That means definitely you'll have some problems when you're doing some first time and you do not understand some concept. But you have to come up with this. Okay, Saturday 9:30 is okay.
Okay.
So
Tomorrow 9:30.
9:30 is okay.
Okay, sir.
9:30 it will be really late for me, sir.
Sometime you have to go for late. You don't want to
Yes,
go
I
with
know
late.
that.
Shoaib.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir, because I have my job to take care of in the morning, so that would be really a mess for me.
Okay. So what
We
would the
can
time
just make
say?
it,
9:30 Indian time. What's the timing there in US?
let me see. 9:30 will be.
Okay, fine. Try to make it, or else we'll take some action. But no problem, because Saturday I think we can do. It's okay. 7:30.
Yeah, that would be good.
Only other people's physical. Like you have to attend physical, because Shoaib is okay. It's because online you can connect easily.
So, sir, when will we start exactly?
7:30.
Sure, sir. 7:30.
Mariam, what do you say?
No, sir.
So for me, it's too early.
Too early.
For me also it's too early, sir.
Okay. We'll go for what? 9:30. Okay, done. Shoaib, we miss you a lot. We'll have a session
Sir,
sometime.
I will try my best.
Yes, we'll do
Um,
something, huh?
yeah, I will try my best.
Okay, thank you.